The RLCS Major can be an incredibly exciting time, but with lots of matches taking place over 2 streams, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. That is what I'm here for. Welcome to Day 1 of the Boston Major Recap. Our first set of matches was the exciting matchup between the developing regions of Rule 1 versus Crew. Opinions were kind of mixed on what way this one would go, but a series with some incredibly close games and some incredibly fast Rocket League, it was Rule 1 who were able to edge it out in the end, winning a 5-minute overtime in Game 4. Over on the alternate stream, the incredibly boring and one-sided match of Karmine versus Ground Zero began, and as expected, Karmine Okay, ignore everything I said, because out of absolutely nowhere, Ground Zero marched through the whole country of France and were able to win both Game 1 and 2, but as if the gods of Rocket League were against any upset happening just yet, Game 3, 4 and 5 became something I don't think I can legally show on YouTube, and Karmine did take the series. For the second set of matches, we were granted our first EU versus NA matchup of the Major. A match with 3 English players, 2 French, and 1 American, showing the best of what North America has to offer. Unfortunately for Gen G, although being dominant in Game 1, they were not able to phase BDS and they stayed consistent, and were able to take the remaining 3 games of the series, winning 3-1. We had another OCE team on the stage for the alternate stream, but unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for all our hearts, it was not the same spectacle as the Oceanic Brethren, and they were taken down 3-1 by Space Station Gaming. Match 5 and 6 were 2 incredibly exciting matchups for very opposite reasons. On one hand, we got to watch 2 of the most exciting teams of the season with Team Liquid versus Complexity, and on the other hand we saw APAC, who were unfortunately made to play against the expected event winners of Vitality. Team Liquid versus Complexity in most people's eyes was a coin toss, and when it came to the gameplay, it seemed like everybody was correct. A fight for their lives, this match could easily happen in top 6 and it would not look out of place. Complexity eventually break through the wall of Team Liquid and take the series in a 3-2. They then reached the series I was incredibly excited for. Vitality versus Elevate. Elevate came to this event just trying to prove that APAC can hang with the big dogs. And to be totally honest, they certainly proved it. I will cut the suspense and tell you all that Vitality won the series, but the final score being 3-1 was certainly not what we were all expecting. A competitive series throughout gives Elevate hope for both the rest of this event as well as the World Championship coming in August. With Elevate being one of the 2 APAC teams attending Worlds and Gladiator, the other team playing their last event together, APAC could really have their breakthrough moment very soon. The final 2 matches of round 1 saw the Fade Killers of Optic keep their form up and take down the second seed of San Nip with relative ease. A 3-1 victory means that Optic send themselves to upper round 2 and Nip down to the lower side. A rematch that all of us were hoping to see happened as our other match of the last set, Moist versus Furia. Although not the spectacle that we saw at the Spring Major last season, it was still a great showing from both teams, with LAN rookie Juicy standing out, having a first series definitely to be proud of. It seems like Moist aren't drying out anytime soon. With round 1's conclusion, to round 2 we go. Rule 1 come into this stage of a lot of potential but an incredibly hard opponent. Facing BDS is no easy feat for any team, and that remained true for Rule 1. Even with BDS doing everything that they could to throw away Game 1, they were still able to take it, with a standard Game 2 win and then a Game 3 where, after a 2-minute Rule 1 between the Rule 1 team and BDS, there's too many Rule 1s being said, it doesn't matter. Rule 1 were punished for breaking it by getting swept 3-0 after an incredibly long overtime. Our other match at the stage was Karmine Corp versus NA's number 1 seed SSG. Although a good start was found for SSG, the Blue Balls stood strong and firm, winning 3-1 and sending themselves to top 6 on Saturday. We reach our final 2 matches of the day. The first being North America's last hope in the upper bracket of Optic versus 5th seed in Europe Moist Esports. An incredible series ensued. Moist took both Game 1 and 2. A turn in the series means that Optic win Game 3. Then, in Game 4, an insane amount of shots from Moist totaling 19, and 13 saves being found by Optic, a 5-minute overtime is eventually won by Moist, and they join their EU comrades in the top 6. The final match of the day though is Vitality vs Complexity, a 5-game thriller where Complexity utterly impressed. Zen distilled all worries of LAN theirs, playing just as well as he always does, but when it came to the final game, and 0-0, overtime, Complexity though have had their hearts shattered. A miss on a winning chance gives Vitality the counter-attack to instantly tap it into the other end, and with that goal they win the series and become the 4th team from Europe to make it to top 6. Looking into tomorrow, it is the lower bracket extravaganza. This is the day where hearts are going to be broken and some incredibly exciting matches are on its way. EU looking as expected in this major, 4 out of 4 teams in the upper semi-finals with only Liquid down on the lower side. Will NA be able to bounce back on the second day, or is this EU's LAN to dominate?